Hello everyone, so I'm here to do another tag, and this one is the Women's Prize for Fiction tag. It was originally created by Simon from Savage Reads, but basically Karen from Katie Books told me to do it, so because I do everything he says, here I am doing it. But yeah, so there are 10 questions. Let's get into it. The first question is, which was the first Women's Prize winner you read? When did you read it and what did you think of it? I think the first one I read is On Beauty by Sadie Smith. I'm not sure when that was, probably like 5 or 6 years ago. And I didn't like it that much. I tend to not like books about professors in schools, because they tend to be like, I don't know, I just don't like that trope. So yeah, I was not a fan. I have seen some other things from Sadie Smith and I liked some of them. It's a bit of a mixed bag, which I think it happens to a lot of people with Sadie Smith. So yeah. The second question is, which author have you read because of the prize who has become a favorite? I'm not sure if this was only because of the prize, but that was one of the reasons that made me want to read it, and that was Small Island by Andrea Levy. And this is a novel about Jamaican immigrants into the UK in the 40s and 50s, I think. So after the Second World War. They are called the Windrush generation. I would not say that Andrea Levy has become one of my favorites, but I actually really enjoyed Small Island. I had some issues with it, but overall I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to read something else from her. And maybe she will become one of my favorite authors, who knows. The third question is, which favorite author of yours has yet to win the prize? And again, I'm not sure I would say this is my favorite author, but it's someone I have enjoyed books from. And that is Jacqueline Woodson. And she was in the long list this year with Red at the Bone, and I really enjoyed that one. So I was hoping it will make it to the shortlist. It didn't, but I hope she wins it sometime in the future, because I think she really knows how to write. The fourth question is, which longlisted, shortlisted or winning novel has surprised you the most and why? I was taking a look at the shortlist and the winners and see what I had read from there, and I came up with 2 novels that I really not only liked, because I think there are other books that in those lists that I liked more, but this one surprised me the most. The first one is When I Hit You by Mina Kandasamy, and this one is sort of a memoir-y kind of book about a woman that is trapped in an abusive relationship, and how that happens, how you think, oh, that's never gonna happen to me. I know how these things start and happen, so that I would be able to leave before it happens. But and also I was surprised at how fierce the woman is, despite her being abused and hit by the boyfriend on a regular basis. She was still fierce. She knew it was happening, and I really liked it. I thought it was a brilliant way to do it, that the victim is not just a submissive, soft, weak person, that sometimes it's not that way and you think it's never gonna happen to you, but it does. So yeah, that surprised me a lot. The other one that surprised me a lot was Milkman by Arnon Burns. And I think this surprised me because when I heard talking about this book, I heard that the writing style was difficult to get into, and that it was a lot of stream of consciousness, and I thought that I was not going to like that, but I tried it anyway, and I'm glad I did, because I found the writing style completely normal to get into. Like, it was not a struggle for me. So yeah, I really liked. And by the way, Milkman is about the troubles in Ireland, and this girl that lives in Ireland at the time, and there is the milkman, which is a man that stalks her basically. But yeah, I really liked the way it was written. Really made the message come across for me. So yeah, I really like that one. The next question is, if you would be a judge, which 4 women would you judge it with and why? So first of all, I would say Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, because I love her. I love everything she writes. I think she's amazingly smart, and I want to meet her, so I will judge with her so that I meet her. Then I would again say Sadie Smith would be a very interesting person to judge with, because as I said, some of her books I get along with, some of them I don't. But overall, I think that she sounds like a very, she's very smart, of course, and she sounds like a very fun and interesting person to get to know. So I would love to judge something with her and discuss the different opinions we might have. Then I would say Xiaolo Guo, and this, I have read a memoir from her and I really loved it. She's a Chinese author that moved to the UK at some point, and I think that she would have a completely different perspective on books and things, because she has had such a different experience from me, that I think it will be super interesting to see what we think of the books. And then the last person, I think I would love to have Emma Watson there, because I think she's also incredibly smart and she knows a lot about books. And even though she's not the writer herself, she is, I think, very aware of the literature around. She used to have a book club, feminist book club, and I think it would be very interesting to have her in that mix as well. The next question is, which lesser known favorite author of yours would you like us all to read, and which book would you recommend? I'm going to recommend someone that is probably not eligible for the Women's Prize because it's translated. But I would say Amélie Nothomb. It's a really cool author, and I think that she's not unknown, but I think she deserves much more than what she gets. I think one of the reasons is because she's Belgian and she writes in French. Many of her books are translated, but not all of them. This is the book I have from her here, but actually the one I would recommend would be sulfuric acid, and that one is about the classic experiments of taking some people and telling them they are the police, and other people telling they're prisoners, and see that dynamic. But the twist on that novel is that they make a reality show out of it, and it shows how it's not only about the psychology of that prisoner police balance, but it's also the voyeurism of the people watching on TV and why they watch, and why is that so appealing to people to watch reality shows. I think it's brilliant and I would recommend to everybody. It's translated, so you probably can find it. The next question is, which book published before the prize started could have won? And for that, I'm going to go way back and say Virginia Woolf. Probably she could have won with any of her novels. My favorite is Orlando, but I think she could have won with many of her novels. So yeah. The 8th question is, which has been your favorite winner so far? And I would say, as I said, I absolutely love Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. My favorite book is Americana by her, but I think the one that won was Half a Yellow Sun, and that would be the one that I would choose because I adore anything she writes. The 9th question is there a book or two published since April 2020 you've read or want to read you would like to see on the next year's list? I have not read any of these two that I'm going to mention because I usually read from the library, so it takes a few months normally to get things in the library, especially in these times that I want to read. But so I have not read any of these books I'm going to talk about, but I think that they sound very interesting and they have had a lot of praise. So yeah, the first one actually I'm not sure it's eligible because the author is non-binary, so I don't know how the price is treating that, but it would be the Death of Vivek Oji by Akwaeke Emesi. I've read Freshwater by them and I really loved it. I have heard their other novel, Bet, is also very good, and this one is also very good. I think it hasn't come out yet, I think it comes out next month, but I've heard many good things about it and I want to read it and I want it to win a prize. And the other one I would say The Vanishing Half by Brit Bennett. I've heard a lot of things lately. It just came out and I've heard a lot of good things about it, and it's about two sisters. I think they're black or part black, but they can pass as white, and one of them decides to pass as white and one of them doesn't, and how their lives differ based on that decision. So yeah, that one I think it's probably going to make it, and I'm also really wanting to read it, so that will be great. And then the last question is, which shortlisted book would you like to win this year and why? So I haven't read all of the books in the shortlist. I've read Girl, Woman, Other, I've read Dominicana, I've read 1,000 Ships, and I have read Weather. So the two I have not read are The Mirror and the Light and Hamnet, and I think from what I've heard those are the favorites of most people, but I haven't read them, so I cannot give an opinion on those. So from the ones I've read, I think 1,000 Ships is my favorite, and that's the one I would want to win. But being honest, I think I would be fine with any of them winning. So I think it's a great list this year, and I would completely be fine with any of them winning. So yeah, that's great. So yeah, those are all the questions. I want to tag some people. I would tag Lindsay from Lindsay's Book Life, and Courtney from Courtney Ferriter, and Logan from Reading with Makar. So yeah, please do the tag if you want to, and if you have not been tagged but you want to do it, for sure do it. You're tagged as well, and let me know what you think about my answers, and if you have read any of these books and you have different opinions on them or you want to talk about them. So yeah, that's it for me. See you in the next video. Bye.